Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It is February the 14th, 2026, and we are live. That's right. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What does that mean? It means we're getting into it. We are going to have some fun today because in reality, we are going to help learn how to find our author's voice on this lovely day of hearts and love and all the other wonderful things. We're going to do a live rewrite of P.S. I Love You. Because it is Valentine's Day, we might as well try to see how to have a little bit of fun with it. Yay! What's up, Diana? And flowers. Everyone is here. All right, to everyone who doesn't know, this series is one of those series that I really enjoy doing because Rewrite the Great is not about, hey, look at me, look what I could do. It is a series that is here to show you how author voice works, how we take the narrative movement of one piece, especially from the greats, and then we sort of play with it and rewrite it in my voice, and then we take it from there. Now, if this is your first time here ever, remember, it's not really that I'm like, hey, look at me, all right? The goal is that I'm going to ultimately take what is written and I'm going to put it in a cinematic, most likely third-person perspective with a lyrical but clarity kind of tone to it, all right? Okay, all right? Also, if you don't know, there is a poll. Would you rather have a bestseller or a cult classic? Today, I made it a little bit more fun, and we got a little bit more choices. We got bestseller, I want the sales, give me the money. We have a cult classic, loyal fan base, here you go. And then, of course, both or nothing. And then just finishing is the win. Oh, yeah, there are no wrong answers, but we will definitely talk about it at the end of the hour. Look, we got a whole bunch of people. Sesby. Happy Valentine's Day. Ciao bello ama mi amore. When the moon hits your eyes like a big pizza pie, that's an amore. Okay, everybody, what is up? Happy, Malos. Angel Fee. We have some kick watches. That's always exciting. Hey, what is up, KJ? Finally here on time. Welcome. We're going to have some fun today. It is Valentine's Day. By the way, you know, I'm here to have a get together with everyone on the screen because let's be honest, I got no huggles and cuddles, all right? Plus the cat doesn't even want to talk to me. The cat's sitting by the window. So I'm going to spend my Valentine's Day afternoon with all of you, and we're going to be looking at a piece that is based on P.S. I Love You. So it's just all nice and romantic. Between us, we're going to excite ourselves. A cult classic would be fine, but at the same time, just rewriting a novel is an achievement in itself. Oh, just right. Yeah, that is true. Finishing any book. He's talking about the poll. Yeah, just getting a book done is a victory. You know, it's hard enough to start a book, let alone finish a book. So that is definitely the win. But if anyone has any questions, by the way, of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, the choices, if you have questions about author voice, whatever it is, even if it's questions about your own writing and you just need some help, remember I am a developmental editor and the writing coach / teacher. So feel free to ask questions, even if it quote unquote derails the situation. I'm still here. I do these lives for you guys, you gentle people. All right, what do we got? Ooh, I chose getting the book done. I struggle with that. You know, that is a struggle. That is, you're not the only one in the boat, and I love it that our community is. Look, we're at 50% with just finish it. So you're not alone, my friend. There's at least 3 other people that are on your side, and don't I know? I pimped you to so may have a sale. Fantastic. I wish I had like a sound effect that was like, I love you. Well, I got it deep and that is good enough. I'm excited. Thank you for that, flowers. You know how much you are loved and appreciated in this world. And anything like that is just a huge, extra, big hug across the pond, and I'm grateful to have that. So much thanks. I love Andrea. Do I know Andrea? Has she watched the show yet? Because I know sometimes the names don't match the names, you know. She mentioned you, Emma, and was like, oh my God, she's so amazing, Emma. Oh, so amazing. Happy Valentine's Day, Ro. Greetings to Thomas and others. By the way, Ro, we have a poll today if you're willing to jump on it. Would you rather have a best-selling seller or a cult classic? We have bestseller. I want the sales. Give me the money. We got cult classic. Loyal fan base is good enough for me. We got both or nothing. Hey, look, I want it all. And of course, just finishing is the win. I told her the lives are on Saturday and Sunday, so maybe so she may pop in. She may be like, "Yo, what's up?" Hopefully, I'm not singing her ear off because I know I get some complaints in the comments after the point. They're like, "I tried watching the video, but all the singing. What's with the singing? Just do the thing. Just do the thing." All right. Let's get into it. Amy. By the way, if everyone's having a wonderful, if you don't have a Valentine's Day, just know I am your Valentine's Day. All right, let's just spread the love. Okay, we're just this wonderful group of people. Let's do it. Flowers is a pimp. Flowers is a pimp, and we love Flowers for pimping me out. I don't mind being pimped out. Look, I charge by the hour, so with handshakes. Really, that's really the secret. I think I'm the odd one out on the poll. That's all right. Look, there is no wrong answer. And by the way, there are four choices. I like the singing. I like the singing too, Diana, because as someone who was a singer, I really don't get to perform on stage anymore. So it's hard to really be out there and be, oh, I don't get to do it. So here I get to play with it. All right, let's talk about it. P.S. I Love You by Cecelia Ahern. Ahern. Anyway, 2004. If you don't know the book, the movie was we had Gerard Butler and Million Dollar Baby. What was the name? Hey, P.S. I Love You movie. I want to give her credit and it was made in 2007. Hilary Swank, excellent performer. Oh, by the way, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in this, and so was Lisa Kudrow and Kathy Bates. Post her success already. We got Gina Gershon. Excellent actress. Harry Connick Jr. James Masters, but he wasn't a vampire in this. Anyway, my point is, this movie made me cry. I'm a weeper. Let's just put that out there. I weep at sad stuff. But I did love the movie. Fun fact, though, 2004 the book came out. By 2007 it was so that means they made the film in 2006 minimum, and that means that they sold the rights at minimum 2005. So that's pretty good. 1 year, book came out, such a big hit. You never know. See, that's the thing about this world and this entertainment world and books. I was actually talking to one of my friends who was an agent of mine in passing for the film industry. I still talk to him today. Excellent, wonderful man. I also share a lot of his videos on basically how to be an author, but also how to get into the film industry with your book and stuff. But he was talking about the big thing that's happening right now in quote unquote Hollywood. And this is something to think about, especially if you're interested in getting your book in the film. They're actually going reverse. So usually what they'll do is, you'll write a book and then it becomes a movie, right? Well, in the film industry, they're telling screenwriters to either write it or find someone to write their screenplay into a book and see if the book sells, sort of as like a practice ground. So like that's been the theme in Hollywood right now. They're like, look, before we put in tons of money into a movie idea or a television idea, why don't we float it around as a book and see if the book catches on? If the book catches an audience and it sells, then we'll move forward and do either a movie or a television deal. So that's something to think about for all you authors out there. You are on the right path. It's book to screenplay now. So that's pretty cool. Yay, say there's no wrong. There is no wrong. There's never a wrong answer. The movie broke my heart. It was so sweet. It broke my heart too. I couldn't believe it. I was watching that movie and I'm sitting there and I'm crying, and I was just like, how come? Look, I'm not going to ruin it, but it's not really a love story about her finding love. It's about her, reclaiming herself and stuff like that after a horrible thing. And I'm just like, man, if I want, why can't I have that? So don't we feel that too. The book came out when you were 17. Oh, oh yeah, the book is 20. What is that? 22 years ago, the book came out. Holy Jesus, Jesus. That's what my brother is doing too. He is turning all of his scripts in. Smart move. Yeah, yeah. My friend who is the agent, he's in the he produced and was one of the creators on the what is it, Mega Shark? What is it called? The Megadon Mega Mega Shark movie. What was it called? The Mega Shark. Yeah, it was. Oh, the Meg. So the Meg 1 and 2, he was producing that. So he said, he's like, yeah, if you want to try to get into the movie industry, start with your book first and see if it goes, you know. I had no idea it was a book. Yeah, the movie is fantastic. I own the movie. I watch the movie more often than I think I should. Just because I like, you know what it is? I like the regrowth. I like the rebirth. I like the saying goodbye part. I like the concept of grief. Uh I like that they didn't have a perfect relationship. I like there's just so much interesting things going on for the deeper truth of those characters that really resonates with me, and I think that's what makes the book so strong, is that it's not pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of complications going on, and there's a lot of challenging. And when I say challenge, I don't mean they are going through challenges. It's that their positions are being challenged. And I also, well, I don't want to give anything away. It's a good book. It's a good movie. Bestseller and cult classics intersect quite a fair bit. That is true. I mean, that Lord of the Rings was a bestseller and a classic, but there are also books that maybe didn't start off so strong and then they became cult classics. So it isn't. I've never read or watched it. Well, Flowers, I'll tell you this much: if you want to cry your eyes out, watch the movie. It's a really good movie, though. It's really good. It's really good. And they go to Ireland. It takes place in New York, but they go to Ireland, and like the husband was Irish, and even though I believe the actor's Scottish. I love how he created a special. Oh yeah, the scavenger hunt for her, and then like by the end, she found a new self, and yeah, all that is beautiful. And I like that there's a final letter, and then she like, I don't know, it was all good. It's all good. 10 out of 10, no notes. I've done enough of that this week. Well, don't watch it then. But I do. It's such a good movie, though. It really is. It's a good experience emotionally to flow through that. But obviously, if you're dealing with the tears, I don't recommend it. I should have watched it after my father passed, like right away. I think that would have helped me. But I'm still taking a little time on that. Parent death is really difficult. All right, let's get into the writing. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're only gonna look at the first 300. What is this? 300 words. Let's see. 370 words. Right? So we're gonna look at this. We're gonna read through it. We'll do a little analyzing of it. But the goal is, I'm trying to figure out what the narrative truth is, and then I'm gonna take the narrative points and I'm gonna rewrite it into my voice and how I sort of would approach it. The rule is not to change the plot. The plot must maintain stability. Because remember, all narratives are made up of both plot and story. Plot is what needs to happen no matter what. And story is how the plot unfolds through the emotional experiences and choices of your characters. Us authors, we create the story. There are only 7 plots in the world, ultimately, but they have variations to it. So keep in mind, we're going to read, take some notes. I'm going to do some loose outlining on the right-hand side, and then we're going to try to write it out, okay? See where we go. There's a part where they buy a used flamethrower at a pawn shop. That was rad. All right. I've done enough. Oh, all right. Let's get into it. Holly held the blue cotton sweater to her face, and the familiar smell immediately struck her, an overwhelming grief knotting her stomach and pulling at her heart. All right. First of all, fantastic opener. This is a strong, and by the way, it's a long sentence. It's slow paced because there's a lot of information being thrown at us, but it is through the emotional experience and choices of the character. And right in the beginning, we are learning so much with so little detail in contrast, right? It is a strong show, but more importantly, Holly held the blue cotton sweater to her face. That is a choice, okay? And the familiar smell immediately struck her. That's the experience. An overwhelming grief knotting her stomach, and that is the show. Okay? So it mixes show and tell. Show and tell. Because remember, it's show, sometimes tell. You need tell for context. More importantly, ly words. Don't use ly words. You can use ly words. Don't use ing words. You have to in the context, because this is clearly in third person, and then it's obviously in past tense, because sweater held. Okay. So this is a really strong first sentence. This is going to make it difficult, because I really like this first strong sentence, but I am going to have to write it in a way. But there's also movement. We are in motion, and we are in the middle. You know how they always say start in the middle, don't start at the beginning? We are right there. We are in the movement of it. We don't even know what's going on. We're so deep into the movement, which is good. But we do know how the character feels. And we know the character's name right off the bat. There's a part... if you are a pantser and just discovering the story as you write, how do you decide what ticks and what to rewrite? Hi, by the way. Oh, hey, what's up, Google? That's a great question. And just for anyone who's watching, remember, if you have questions, just ask them. I don't mind. I like doing the asides. I do these live so you have an opportunity to ask a developmental editor and writing teacher. So this is really what the whole point of the weekend is to kind of give you guys some space to ask questions. But right to the point, if you are a pantser and just discovering the story as you write, how do you decide what ticks and what to rewrite? So if you don't know, I started out as a pantser and I slowly became an outliner, but in reality, I do both. I outline heavily with broad general ideas, and then I discover through the story, which is writing out the prose and all the stuff like that. With that said, the way I do it back in the day and how I do it today is I try to get through the entire thing. I write the whole first draft or zero draft or whatever draft I'm on, and then I go back and I read and I take notes. As I'm taking notes, I'm making sure that there's seeding, foreshadowing, character consistency, plot consistency, all these things that are important to a narrative. And then I go back to the beginning once I get all my notes, and then I start just recreating the scenes. What determines what I keep and what I rewrite are those notes. If I need more seeding, I have to rewrite or clean it up. By the way, for anyone's watching, a rewrite, when I say it, is not a throwaway and start over. A rewrite is doing the work, is going in and cleaning up, not necessarily line editing yet or copy editing. It just means going in, adding like a stronger intro to the chapter, a tighter exit, making sure I get to the middle, the conflict a little sooner. Those are the things I'm working on a rewrite. I'm not throwing the whole chapter out and starting over. But the decision is based on the notes. Am I seeding? Am I foreshadowing? Am I allowing character consistency, etc., etc., etc.? Great question, by the way. This is a really good question. Don't use... Yeah, that's right. ly words. Don't use any words. Don't use capital letters. I know, right? Some of the rules you hear, like, don't do this. Remember, anyone who's listening out there, rules are designed, and I've said this a few times, and I want to keep saying it because I think it's important. The first story, the Gilgamesh story, right? Somebody wrote that, and then someone said, I like this, and then someone said, but I don't like this. And then they wrote a story with the things they liked, and then left out the stuff they didn't like. And then someone read their story and was like, I like this, but I don't like that. Eventually, somebody, like down the road, 100 years, and somebody was like, hey, I like your story. Can you teach me how to write? And they taught them how to write based on what they saw as good writing. And that became rules. So rules are important to help guide you and get you into the groove, but the breaking of the rules comes in your voice, which is what we're doing in this video today. The choices I make as an author are based on the rules I choose to use, and the tools I'm a little looser on, and then the rules that I've created for myself. Yes, occasionally you'll see me use the word with. Occasionally you'll see me use a passive voice. But in reality, I really like to show the film of it all. I want people to feel like they're watching a film. And that's a choice. So as a writer, you are not beholden to these crazy rules. It's your job to make strong choices to break those rules purposefully. So when people tell you don't do these things, but it's your vision and you sort of are playing with it. That's different than following the rules as verbatim. You can't say bomb on the well that is actually true. It's Roger. Surely you must be joking. I am not joking, and don't call me Shirley. It's mostly through experimentation. Yes, you could follow the character's arc, or you can just write and see what happens. Well, yeah, but again, how do you figure out on the rewrite? I think that's what he's asking. But you have to do the work by analyzing it. You got to look through your chapters. You got to look through the consistency. A really helpful thing, as an addition to what I said earlier, is summarize. So if you're pantsing and you're just writing chapter after chapter after chapter, when you go back and you read the chapter, write a paragraph of summarizing what happened in that chapter. Or you could write like a paragraph of what happened to each character in that chapter. So then you could sort of quick view it. Because remember, you're either going to do the work in the beginning or you're going to do the work on the back end. All right. Hey, what's up, Em? Someone told me once that I shouldn't write a scene where two women are talking about men. Something about yeah. I hold them to stuff. Yeah, there's what is the rule about two talking about? I think it's the test. It's the Bacta test. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's the Bechdel test. Basically, the requirements is both women must be named, they must have a conversation, and the topic must not be about a male character. My understanding of that rule is if the women characters just never have their own agency, that their whole purpose is to move a quote unquote male character forward, that's where it fails that test. But honestly, if a woman character loves a man, that's fine. But I would recommend this with every character, from a child on to even a horse, if you want to get crazy with it, or a deer. And people are like, a deer? Yeah, Bambi is a movie. Bambi was a thing. But all characters should have agency in some form or another. But additionally, if characters are primary to the narrative, they themselves should also have sort of like their arc, their development. I don't even think a guy character's whole purpose should be to fall in love with the girl. Just like I don't think a girl character should, its sole purpose is to fall into like, there should be things they have, but they also, it's like real life. You want to make it as nuanced as possible. But I do agree when they're like, tight rules really are weird. All right, to quote the great Captain Jack, it's a set of rules, not guidelines. Why not? Why not with I do use it occasionally. I try to limit my use to it, and the reason is I just don't like the way it feels, sounds, or looks. Which again is voice. It's author voice. It's aesthetics. Like he sat there beside his best friend is a little stronger than he sat there with his best friend, because besides has more agency, if that makes sense. Like, with is more passive, and besides is a choice, like it's intentional. So I try to maintain that strength, agency, intentionality, and choice. If I have to, for faster pace, just to keep things moving, etc., then I'll use with and stuff like that. It's the same thing with was. I try to avoid was. How do I make things? I'm a strong believer in active voice, but that doesn't mean I won't step back into passive. Ergo, dialogue is usually, if not always, consistently passive, but it's dialogue. Hey, what's up, Sean? Thomas in the room. Just got home from some lo mein. Where's our food? Give me some yum-yums. Time to chill, listen, and learn. Hope everyone is doing well. We are, sir. Thanks for joining us. I get the ing being present tense. Well, ing is important for the continuation of present tense. I sat there thinking, though thinking is a filter word. I sat there relaxing my legs up. That's ing. So you can do it. It's just they're saying, but you could also go running toward the door. My breath escaped my strength. Right? You could do that too. It just depends what you're doing. It is a no notes. All right. It's a romance novel. The whole point is to okay. In a romance, right? The two the plot is they have to get together and happily ever after. That's the plot. But imagine that was the only thing. Now remember, what makes a story engaging? It's challenging things, tension, conflict, right? So them getting together is, we know that's going to happen, right? We know they're going to fall in love, but like how they get there is the interesting part. Though, who is the character before the meet cute? Who is the the two characters before the meet cute, and what was their intended goal? And is their intended goal before they met, all right, compromised, changed, challenged, derailed, whatever the case is, that makes them go, wait. Like, for example, Hitch, if you like the movie or not, Will Smith is in it. He doesn't conform to love. Right? He's great at picking up women, but he doesn't understand going the distance, right? So his life is derailed by the meet cute. Not only is he completely out of his comfort zone with this woman, she definitely challenges him. Every date is going wrong, but his whole world collapses for this woman. And that's because he had this consulting company outside of her, and she had this, she was writing for a magazine outside of them. The plot is, let's get them together. But for her business and her best friend, which is also, the best friend was a side arc, right? A sub arc. Okay, because her thing was trying to find love, and then she found a horrible guy who had actually hired Hitch, but Hitch fired her. But that context was miscommunicated. Anyway, so the friend, the girl Hitch is dating, is like, wait, I'll just do a story on the hookup artist. And then it turns out to be Will Smith's character, Hitch. So that's what I mean. I mean, like, every character should have something outside that main central plot. They should have depth. They should have nuance. That's all I mean. I am not saying I understand the whole point is for them to fall up, but that's the plot. That's the central plot. But how do we build on that? One of the things you want to aim for in writing is, would it make sense for this thing to happen under these circumstances? That is a very important thing. That is the logic. And I got cat hair all in my face. I was giving the cat hugs and kisses. Yeah, you always want to understand the why and if it makes sense, and because your job as a writer, as you write or after you write, go back and do the analysis, is to break your story. I talk about this with my clients. You got to be like, I like what I wrote, but I have a bias. Let me try to break my story, because if you could break it, then you can fix it, because you're like, oh, this is what broke it. Let me just fix that, right? But if you can't break it, that is also good, right? But you can't read it and take analysis and be like, hey, it doesn't look broken and it's working because you're like, I want things to happen this way. You have to really ask questions that challenge it. So that is an important part of writing. And yeah, whenever I overhear a conversation between women, it's about men. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, I mean, but you remember, life is nuanced. But ladies, I'll be fair. We do talk about you girls a lot. We like you, ladies. All right. Do you find a use for the photo? I did, sir. I posted it on social media. I'm actually I think I put it, you don't follow me on Instagram, so that might be the thing. But I'm gonna do a nice little I could have swore I posted it on I'll have to relook it. I did though. Thank you very much for that picture. I loved it. I also like that there's a little cat next to the thing. I love that movie. Yeah, that movie is fun. That is a fun movie. It's just a good time, as they say. My story revolves around grief after great loss. The hero is a Marine recon soldier, excellent, who brings home his brother to his daughter, and they grow closer as they work together. They work through the grief. Very good. Just looking at that, the plot would probably be the healing through the grief, right? That would be the plot. The narrative exists to work through the grief, right? But again, I obviously didn't look at the whole summary, but just looking at that, what is the daughter doing before the brother, the dead father comes home, right? I'm assuming is the brother, right? And then how is the soldier's life before that moment happens? their life is being derailed. Are they going to go back into service? Are they thinking about stepping away from service? So those things is what I'm talking about when it comes to they have to fall in love. Like we get that. They have to work through grief. That is the plot. We get that. But like who are these characters outside of those moments? And it is little things like that that actually help elevate and enhance the main narrative. That's what they usually mean when they're saying the subplots and the sub arcs should be elevating the central conflict. It's not that it has to be directly related to it. It's just there are connectors, you know. I'm not saying you can't write a conversation about something else, but not writing a conversation about men is because it's what happens all the time. No, I agree. I think you should write about whatever you want. Like the whole point of writing is art. It's creative. Like have fun with it, play with it. Don't feel restricted by it. Finally put my 13. Hey. Oh, sorry. Hey. All right, let's get into this. Holly held the blue cotton sweater to her face, and familiar smell immediately struck her, an overwhelming grief knotting her stomach and pulling her out at her heart. Pins and needles ran up the back of her neck, and a lump in her throat threatened to choke her. See, this is a good sentence too. I don't like this part because it's very common, but this second part just makes it very strong. He musters out and becomes a cop in the town she lives in to watch out for her as her dad asked him to, and she owns a thrift shop. Excellent. She stores heirlooms for people helping, etc. Yeah, great. Again, I don't know the story or anything, but if I was just looking at that, my advice to you is have something happen that's directly connected to the antique store, that is directly related to the daughter's story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know she's running the story, but again, challenge that, right? And the same thing with him becoming a cop. What is the challenge of becoming a cop? Not just he has to become a cop. So that's again, I don't know the story. I don't know your plot beats or anything. Just looking at that, that's my brain just thinking. Mostly because I want other people to see and then let them be able to think and ask questions to their own stuff. All right. Panic took over. Great short sentence. Long sentence. This is like medium. A nice short one. This is a nice tight one. All right. Apart from the low hum of the fridge, excellent audio, and the occasional moaning of the pipes, fantastic. The house was quiet. No wonder this book was written. This is experience. All right. She is experiencing these things in her grief. She's choosing to describe the pipes as moaning. So Holly is hearing the moan of the pipes because of what she's dealing with. The quiet. The house was quiet. This is something that her brain is overanalyzing because she's dealing with the grief. This is good. This is good. She wasn't. Again, just for the record, she was alone is passive. This is really good writing. There's nothing wrong with it. But like for my author voice, I might not always do that, you know. Oh, what do we got here? It's hard to type everything in YouTube. No, I know. It's a good exercise too, just to like see something and then like give advice on just a small snippet of it. But it's also important that like other people are hearing how I'm looking at it, because then they could look at their own stuff, a snippet, and it's what are they analyzing and what am I challenging just by what I'm reading, because that's part of the process, you know. Out of my 8 projects that I have a romance novel who is a Marine who is raising, with the help of his family, his 5-year-old son after his ex left them in search of money to be rich. Well, you're writing a traditional romance, or is it erotica? I forget. Romance? If I was looking at that, though, again, I'd go, all right, the plot is that he has to raise this kid because the wife left. All right, but what else is going on? What is in the kid's life and that they're trying to accomplish, that they get challenged, and then what is in his life outside of trying to keep everything together that is a challenge to him, and of course he finds somebody, which is part of the main plot. Echoed in her grief. Echoed in her grief. Oh, for she was alone. Oh yeah. Billy, is that how you spell Billy in Irish, the Gaelic? All right. Billy rose because I think the guy's name is Billy. Right? My heroine is a woman who has escaped an abusive relationship, end up working as a living nanny for the Marine. My heroine is a woman who has escaped. See, all that's interesting that she has that inside her. But I'm saying, like, again, I don't know this. I don't know your story. I don't know. But just looking at that, my brain says, all right, but what is happening outside of that? That is who she is. Besides the plot thing, that's really what sub arcs become. They become these secondary elements that, you know, my son got a new car or my daughter got a new car. All right, well that's the plot. But like, what is the daughter doing before she got the car, and how does the car influence the thing she was doing? The thing she's doing on the side, like let's say she plays soccer, and her father or mother has to always take her to soccer, right? So soccer is like the plot, and but she wants a car, like that. That is the plot for her. Is I want a car, and she plays soccer. All right. So she gets the car, but it's an old car, and soccer is very important to her, and she's trying to get seen by the college people. But she finally got a car. That's the plot. The plot is that it's her first car. The book is called Her First Car, and the car the car breaks down, so she's late for practice, or she's late for the game, or she's late, right? Whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Like the car becomes a metaphor for her life as a teenager or getting ready for college. It's not gonna be easy, and you got to find solutions, and you got to think outside the box, right? That's what I'm saying. Like you have to, if the plot is A, how do I challenge the plot with other things that have almost nothing to do with that main plot? That, by the way, not for you, Angel. That was just for everybody. It's just Billy, as in as in she was gonna bile, son of a. That makes more sense. Do some variable antiques get bored in by someone dangerous criminals who threat. All right, well, that is a great idea, by the way, but it doesn't always have to be that extreme. Just for anyone else out there listening, it doesn't always have to be extreme. I was actually talking to another author, and like we were talking about challenging, and they were like, they get shot. And I was like, all right, but it's a love story. Oh, all right, the car blows up. All right, okay, all right, but like they get into a physical fight, and one of them ends up in the hospital. I was like, okay, but like a challenge could be I ran out of soda. It's not, no. A challenge needs you don't have to maim somebody for it to be a challenge. A challenge could be that they want to tell somebody they love them, but they have diarrhea. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to ask you on a date, but I gotta go to the. All right. My 8 projects are romance, fantasy, mystery, and a Cinderella retelling. I'm really excited for you, by the way. I think it's awesome that you have those books. You're busy. I just stick to one project, but built a universe around it to tell my stories. I love it. I love it all. I love it all. Always take the male interest out of the romance story. All right. Bile rose to her throat, and she ran. That makes a lot more sense, by the way, Flowers. Thank you. Bile rose to her throat, and she ran to the bathroom, where she collapsed to her knees before the toilet. All right, so I'm not gonna end up writing the thing I want to write real quick, but I just want to show you. Like, for example, in my writing, I would. And the reason I would change a sentence like that is only because for like that cinematic feel, you want it to constantly be in motion. I'm not saying people should write like this. I'm trying to explain author voice. So for me, I'm looking at it. I want to see a beat move through a camera shot. So where is almost like to me, it slows it down. It's a pause. It's almost like an aside. Bile rose through her throat and she ran to the bathroom where she collapsed. So I would even, and this isn't how for anyone who's watching this for the first time, I don't just take sentences and rewrite, but I'm just doing an exercise. So bile rose to her throat. I would then build on that. She clasped her mouth, trying the release. She ran to the bathroom. you know, she ran. Well, you could just do this. She ran through. So the reason I'm doing that is because I'm letting the beat kind of breathe and allow it to have like a rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. Bio rose to her throat. She ran to the bathroom and she collapsed to her knees. Okay, so that I'm trying to visualize the frame. That's how I kind of approach. That's how I approach it. But there's nothing wrong with what she wrote. This is top grade writing right here. This is, I don't really know what this is. Jerry, that was his name. Jerry was gone, and okay. This is for writers out there. This is a great note. So this sets up our protagonist. We understand she's going through everything, but why is she going through the grief? What is going on? And now while she's throwing up, she's going to throw up a memory, and the movement changes to Jerry. And we get the context. Jerry was gone, and he would never be back. That's a great line. Great, strong line. That is passive, but it's still strong. That was the reality. Two wases. This is another thing. I personally wouldn't put two wases in the same paragraph. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But author voice is about making choices. There's an aesthetic choice. There's a rhythm choice. There is how you want to approach it. Not all authors approach their prose, like the flow of their prose, in the same way that other writers do, obviously. But a lot of times when you see top-selling books, the emotional experiences and choices of the characters are consistently filtered through the characters. This is her internal processing. You know, Jerry was gone and he would never be back. That's her. That was the reality. She would never again run her fingers through his soft hair. This is her thinking about this. So that's something that you have to think about when you're writing, is it's not always about what you want to, like, what crazy word structure do I want to use, or how do I showcase how elegant I write, or how amazing my word structure is, and stuff like that. Because at times, you know, she's breaking up here, and I love that this is a slow moment because she's breathing in, that the camera's a close up, and she's breathing in the sweater, and she's just overwhelmed by that, you know, and then that pain just comes through her neck, and then she has that worry in her face, and you know, she looks up. We don't have to write that because panic took over, and the room just becomes alive, and we hear, right? So it's all right. You want to move things always through characters, just because it keeps things kind of centered up. There's no long sentence. Let's get this in today. Let's get into. I like doing this just to see, for anyone who's new here. I like to. Damn. I like looking at the lengths of sentences visually. I have dyslexia, so it's easier to just do this. Also, I'd like to point out another thing that I can't stand when people say it. Don't use semicolons. You get one. You get one per manuscript. Oh, really? Well, there's one. Use your semicolons. If you want to use semicolons, M dashes, if you want to use whatever, just use right. Just right. She would never again run her fingers through her soft hair, never share a secret joke across the table at the dinner party, never cry to him when she got home from a hard day at work and just needed a hug. She would never share a bed with him again, never be woken up by his fits of sneezes each morning, never laugh with him so much her stomach would ache, never fight with him about whose turn it was to get up and turn the bathroom light off. That's funny. Okay, let's see. All that was left was a bundle of memories and images. Okay, if you've seen the movie, they actually don't start the movie off like this, but they show everything right here. This is the first scene. They're fighting, they're arguing. I think they're talking about a dinner party. They're not at a dinner party because they're going up the stairs, then they go into the apartment, then they're getting ready for bed. He's talking about his hard day at work, right? They share a bed together. Oh, you forgot to turn the light off in the bathroom because they don't have a light next to the bed, right? By the way, this is a great example of seating. She doesn't have a light next to the bed. The bathroom light needs to be turned off. It's far away from the bed, and that's going to lead to a moment. So it's a small moment that if you blink, you'll miss it. but seeding is invisible. Seeding is something that consistently builds on little elements that ultimately pay off. Because once he's like, go and buy yourself a new lamp, you know, it pays off. It pays off. Hello, Heather, coming to like the stream. I'm out and about. Have fun. Just thanks for the stop by and the like. Really do appreciate it. And we'll miss you. We'll miss you. It's Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. So no, he was sailing throughout his neighborhood. You could write whatever you want. You could write whatever you want. I'm just saying it's choices. We're supposed to be making choices as authors. Choices. All right, let's get into it. Their plan had been very simple: to stay together for the rest of their lives. A plan that anyone within their circle would agree was accomplishable. They were best friends, lovers, and soulmates, destined to be together. Everyone thought, but as it happened, one day. Okay, this is where it's losing me a little bit. But I understand what's happening. We're setting the table. We're setting the table. The end had come all too soon. After complaining of a migraine for a few days, Jerry had agreed to Holly's suggestion that he see a doctor. This is not in the movie, just for anyone who's this is not. This was done one Wednesday on a lunch break from work. That's because the movie is framed through her. It is framed through her healing, and then everything else is sort of spread around that. This was done one Wednesday on a lunch break from work. The doctor thought it was due to stress or tiredness and agreed that at the very worst, he might need glasses. I've been there. Jerry hadn't been happy with that. He had been upset about the idea he might need glasses. He didn't have worried. He needn't have worried, since as it turned out, it wasn't. Okay, real quick, an aside for anyone out there. Sometimes you hear people say, "Hey, don't use contractions." Some people say use contractions. There's always a debate about that. The reality is, does the POV of your character, even in third person, use contractions? Do they talk shorthands? Is it but it is also a choice as an author. I don't use contractions when I'm writing the epic fantasy because I want to elevate the language. The dialogue, contractions, half words, stuttering, whatever. Dialogue is dialogue. But in the prose of Death of a King, and the other fantasy books I work on, I do not use contractions in the narrative prose. I use them in the dialogue. However, I am working on the noir, the fantasy crime thriller noir, and in that, because it is first person, the narrative movement is through directly the main character, Detective Richard Roosevelt. So therefore, I use contractions. It's a choice. But once you make that choice, you have to maintain that choice. So that's important. So she has two contractions together, but if we never see a contraction again, then these two contractions become weird. It's like watching a play and there's one amazing actor and then everybody else sucks, but the amazing actor doesn't bring their acting down. So they actually look terrible because they look so outside. There was a rule in theater. It's like, look, you don't come in to be the best actor to outshine everybody. You come in to add to the play and be like, all right, this is where they are, so let's have fun. It's great when there's more than one good actor on stage, but at the same time, that rule does apply. All right. I'm not really a fan of this part. I love this part. And why? Because we know that my author voice is always written in active. It's action, it's movement, stuff like that. I really love this part, but I can't. The goal is not to use the same words. So, all right. Let's get into it. I so see why they did it in the movie the way they did it. Because, rereading this now, it's like the movie starts with them. It's a prologue, believe it or not. So the beginning of that movie, that first scene, is a prologue, technically. It's showing who they are. It's showing their world. It's creating the themes. It's creating the relationship. Because we know that Jerry's not going to necessarily be in the movie, per se. He doesn't really have a physicality in the movie. There are moments, but... And it's so good to establish that core relationship before we get into the dump of it, because again, if you've never read the book, you don't P.S. I love you. You might have an idea of what it is, but then when you see, you're like, oh, they're not getting along, or they're fighting, or they're arguing. It's because they're so deep into their marriage. They're so into the next level. Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? If you want kids, I'll get a second job. Do you want a bigger place? I'll do this. I'll do that. What do you want? You got to tell me what you want. And she's like, I don't know what I want. But there's a lot of subtext. It's really beautiful. It's very good stuff. All right, let's get into this. Boop, gonna move me over here. Oh, uh, just so everyone knows, the scene where they purchase a used flamethrower at the pawn shop is not featured in the novel. It's only available as a deleted scene on an extra special limited edition. Oh, is it? That's funny though. All right, let's get into it. A couple things I want to do is so good. This opening is so good though, but the goal is to try to not utilize the same opening. By the way, while I'm thinking, please remember there is a poll if you haven't voted yet. Would you rather have a bestseller or a cult classic? Bestseller, I want the sales. Give me all the money. Cult classic, loyal fan base. Thanks for supporting me. Both or nothing. Look, I'm all in or I'm all out. Finishing is a win. Let's do it. I'm trying to see the shot. I'm trying to avoid the movie because the movie does have a good opener. Let's stay in the plot of the story. So she's alone. His laugh still filled the empty apartment, his smell and the curl of her neck. Cologne. Cologne. Male cologne. Cologne. Oh, there's a G. Cologne. All right. Hey, what do we got? What do we got? Oh, we got a comment. Decided to fill out all the info for all my characters of my 8 projects. Angel Faye, that's fantastic. That's the way to do it. Well, that's one way to do it. I think it's important. Whatever your process and strategy is definitely. Plus, it's also fun. It's fun to kind of like, who are these characters? All right, his laugh. His laugh still filled the empty apartment. His smell and the curl of her neck. Holly collapsed in the warm coldness of his blue cotton sweater, smothering the last of his cologne on her face. All right. Arm. All right, let's see. Emptiness is there twice. I might want to change that. Beating barely, barely the ly in an example. You know, I might keep that. I might change it. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. But we'll get back there. Her heart softened, barely beating in the emptiness of her grief. As if by my ear checking on me. Oh, I just jumped into first person. All right, let's just make sure I didn't do that again. You know why? Because all right, for the record, I've been writing the noir. I just finished chapter 4 last night. I am flying through that book, by the way. I am on chapter 5, so I'm just like in the groove of writing a first person. So that's why I kind of like slept. I slept. All right. I traditionally write in the third person, the cinematic third person, limited rotating lens with the lyrical sense. But anyway, his laugh still filled the empty apartment, his smell and the curl of her neck. Holly collapsed in the warm coldness of his blue cotton sweater, smothering the last of his cologne on her face. Her heart softened, barely beating in the emptiness of her grief. Holly, a faded whisper, loud and clear, as if by her ear, checking on her. Check, fine. That's clear. Checking. She sat up. Couch. Holding to the couch. She sat up, holding to the couch. The room. The small studio. Expanded. Reaching out. Twisting. Oh. All right, she sat up, holding to the couch. Spell that right? Couch, coach, couch. I think I did that right. That's spelled right. Couch, couch. Yeah, I did that right. Couch. We got comments. Smothering the last cologne. Did I spell cologne wrong? Cologne. No, that's how you spell cologne. Did I spell cologne wrong? No, it's smothering the last of his cologne on her face. So it's like the smell of cologne is on the sweater, and she's like smothering her face in the in the sweater and letting his cologne like so she's just taking in the cologne. But smothering the last cologne on her face. That is not the sentence is smothering the last of his cologne on her face. But that is a good catch because I do have that issue sometimes. I do miss things sometimes. My brain gets confused. Holding this small. Sniffing, but also she's smothering her face. She's letting the cologne linger on her, but uh, it's more. Again, I write a little bit more lyrical, but if you wanted to get accurate, smothering the last of his cologne on her face, anything to keep his touch on her longer. There you go. Anything to keep his touch on. This to me though is like telling, which kind of takes me out of it. And the reason it feels like telling to me, I'm actually gonna get rid of it. The reason it feels like telling is because it's an aside, right? For me, for my author voice, right? That's a choice I try to make. I try to allow any telling to be narratively purposeful through the perspective of the character. This is not necessarily. I don't know. Anything to keep his touch. Yeah, I don't know. Anything to keep his touch. I think it's. Yeah, I like the visual of it. I like to stay in the moment. Her heart soft. Okay. All right. Okay. She sat up, holding the couch. Small. She sat. Eyes. And then you could do the holding to the couch. Yep. I don't like that. She sat up, hoping to catch his eyes. I like that better. Catch his eyes. And then reaching out, twisting, twisting. All right, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show anxiety because right now it says panic took over, so panic. Okay, so this is my trigger for the panic, Holly, right? A faded whisper, loud and clear, as if by. I'm explaining my choices. So, if by her ear, checking on her, she sat up to catch it. In fact, she sat up. I can do Jerry. There you go. Now, Jerry. Broken. Shivering lip. You know what? Voice broken. Could say, well, I don't know. Jerry. Voice broke. Shivering lips. Hoping to catch his eyes. Can I do? I'm trying to do like a descriptor, the small studio apartment expanded, reaching out, twisting. There we go. All right. She sat up, her voice broke. My brain is getting a little annoyed at the spaces, but that's Google Docs. Let's check the spelling real quick. Cotton. I spelled cotton. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. All right. What I could do here is sitting up. Nah, you gotta do because it has to be active. She sat up. Jerry. Actually, you know what she said? Grasping couch. Voice broke. Shiver. Pale lips. Hoping to catch his eyes. There we go. I'm liking that. Oh my god. Excellent, excellent. The small studio apartment expanded and reaching out to. Okay, what are we? We're an hour in. All right, I guess we should stop. I could keep going. I like where it's going. Like the apartment from the low home. We could do that. I'm gonna use moaning because I like that moaning Breaking. We did breaking already, right? Did we do breaking? No, breaking is new. Breaking is new. Breaking. Okay. Breaking and popping. All right, what we got? What we got? Shiver. What? Shiver of pale lips. Her voice broke on the shiver of her pale lips, hoping to catch his eyes. Her voice broke on the shiver. Her voice broke on the shiver of her pale lips, hoping. Her stifles the rhythm though. Her voice broke on the shiver. Isn't it inferred? Isn't pale? Isn't of pale lips? All right, whatever. All right, water pipes tricked her. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right, let's read it. Let's read it. His laugh still filled the empty apartment, his smell in the curl of her neck. Holly collapsed in the warm coldness of his blue cotton sweater, smothering the last of his cologne on her face. Her heart softened, barely beating in the emptiness of her grief. Holly? A faded whisper, loud and clear, as if by her ear, checking on her. She sat up. Jerry? She said, grasping the back of the couch. Her voice broke on the shiver of her pale lips, hoping to catch his eyes. The studio apartment expanded, reaching out, twisting. Water pipes tricked her, moaning, breaking, and popping. She darted her attention to each faint reminder, each tempting tease, a house of lived noise, and here she had sat alone. And here she sat alone. Okay, I think that's better. All right. Oh yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck on your character sheet. Thank you. All right, there you go. There you go. There we go. All right. Any thoughts, any questions? Basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a more physical movement. I know the drive to fill those character sheets. Character is plot. That's right, character. Yeah, character. All right. So the choices I made for my author voice is I wanted to be a little bit more active. I wanted to set a physical scene. So I wanted to jump right into how she felt. All right. His laugh still filled the empty apartment. So I'm automatically putting the grief into motion or movement. She is sitting with his thought. Okay. She is remembering him in the apartment, but it is an empty apartment. His smell in the curl of her neck. So she's remembering his intimacy and his kindness, right? His compassion. Holly collapsed in the warm coldness of his blue cotton sweater, meaning, because it's a nice play on words, because it is a warm, it's a cotton sweater, so it should be warm, but it's cold because he's not wearing it. It hasn't been worn. in a while, right? Smothering the last of his cologne on her face. She's just trying to absorb and take in everything she can that is left of him. But because this might be the only thing, her heart softened, barely beating in the emptiness of her grief. So I'm like, I wanted to go internally. So I set the camera. We have like the establishing shot. We see her, and then we go a little closer and closer and closer until we get inside. Then as soon as we get close to that grief, let's say we're on her face with the because we moved into the sweater. We're on her face. We're seeing the grief. Holly, you hear Holly, right? Like as if it's in the air, right? A faded whisper, as if it's next to her ear. Then she sat up, so we pull out to a mid. Jerry, she said, grasping the back of the couch. Then I might do like because I'm a little crazy. I might play with the background a little bit, like in the shot in my head. I'm framing it like we're seeing some movement of the background and stuff like that. And then I would click around to the apartment, king, king, right? Or she would just stay on her on a mid, and she's hearing these things because they're teasing her. So that would be the inferred behavior is she is like right, and she's just there. I might Jerry. So the big difference is, by the way, nothing is better or worse. It's just choices. Yes, Thomas, I have a question. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Well, honestly, the droids, these are not the droids you were looking for, my friend. Appreciate the droid attack. Um, so, but what is the main difference? The main difference is Cecelia started right into the emotional, the internal, right? Then she went a little physical. Then, to me, again, I just didn't want to tell that she was panicked. That panic took over. I wanted to show panic taking over. And again, that's a choice, right? So as authors, we have to constantly be making choices. How deep do we want to go in? How far do we want to pull the camera out? What is the thing we want the reader to pay attention to? But more importantly, what is the character paying attention to? I would have gotten to this throw up scene directly after this. I would have made her throw up after that. But my goal is to be in her movement the whole time. I want to feel what she's feeling and experiencing, and that's just the way I like to write. Um, Obviously this is a bestseller, so it is a movie, but when we're writing, sometimes we don't know what is going to be a bestseller, right? So the goal is to write for yourself, write the books you want to see, and write through the voice that is important to you. And that, those small choices are make big impacts on how readers see you on the page, how they see your voice on the page. And in doing so, they connect to that. Oh, I liked the way this person writes out their prose. I like the way their characters move. I like how close they stay to their characters. I like how far they stay at the characters. I like that there's more dialogue than there is narrative prose. I like that, some people like the telling more. Some people would prefer Holly, Holly could not sleep for days after her husband had passed of cancer. Like some people prefer that. Some people prefer that. But if you're writing for people, you're not writing the narratives or the stories that are strong to you, and therefore it's harder to put a lot of energy and effort into the emotional truth of it if you just kind of don't care and you're just like, what'll sell? Plus, you'll be fighting over it because, like, is this word good? Is this word good? Is this sentence better? Right? And you're like, what would a reader like? But in reality, if there's 1,000 readers out there, right? Of course, you want 51% or more to like the book. But it's just, you can't get 100%, is my point. You just can't. If you try to make 100%, it'd be really difficult. I am Groot. My character's smart, but plays it down to fit in and avoiding beatings from his dad. Fantastic. That's a fantastic character choice. It's behavior influence. He eventually leans into his smats. Would you recommend to write his earlier POV more simplistically than and evolve it? That's a fantastic question. Danny, is it? Danny? This is how I would approach it, okay? Through his POV, the character is smart. Then I love the behavioral influence of when they're around their father, they play their intelligence down. So the behavior is played less smart, but it is constantly through the intelligence of the character. If you're trying to reveal that he's really smart to the reader, then I would start in his behavior being near his father. So his adjusted behavior is constantly being influenced by the father being there. Once the character's alone and once the character's not near the father, you would have to show their intelligence sort of come out. Unless they are also, by the way, unless they are also being conditioned to hold their intelligence back even in private. This happens with tall people. Tall people, they'll crouch a little bit more. They'll walk around like with their shoulders down because they're always taller than everybody else and like 6'7", and then just right. So they just subconsciously they shrink themselves, right? So that could be a choice, but remember, a character is always who they are. So if a character is brave, they're always going to be brave in every, however it is. However, you can challenge that bravery and push back on that bravery to see where they're at. So that's my advice. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Signing off. Good night, Angel Faye. Yeah, y'all. 6'7", 6'7". He said the thing. What's the thing that I said? What did I say? What did I say? All right, everybody. All right, I had a lot of fun with that. Let's get to the poll. If anyone else has more questions, really, truly, feel free to ask. All right, poll time. Poll is, would you rather have a bestseller or a cult classic? We have 19 votes. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Oh, Lord, not that meme. Oh, the 6'7". 6'7", 6'7". All right. So we're on, would you rather have a bestseller or a cult classic? 19 votes. Fantastic. We have number one bestseller, I Want the Sales. Give me all the money at 16%. This is the first week in a long time we haven't had a tie. Cult classic, loyal fan base, 42%. Oh, I kind of like it. I like it. Both or nothing. Look, I'm in or out. 5%. Just finishing is the win, 37%. This is great. What would I pick? Honestly, I think I would go with just finishing is the win for myself. I would be the 20th vote. I'd be more happy with the loyal fan base, not the cult classic. I'm okay if I don't have a cult classic, like if people aren't like, remember that book. But I would just having loyal fan base is fantastic. That would be but that's not one of the choices. So since it's not one of the choices, I'm going to choose just finishing is the win. That is where I would go. We're going to end the poll. The poll is at 42%. Cult classic gets the win, followed by just finishing in the win. Very good. That was a fun poll this week. Fun poll. Is everyone enjoying the more lighthearted polls, or do you like the polls that make you think and make you look at your writing a little bit more? Because I'm trying to switch it up a little bit, but if you prefer that I go back to the harder, more intense, make you think about your writing, I'll be happy to go back to it. Damn it, row 6'7", death row. Do. Thomas likes Pepsi, not Coke Classic. That is true. That is true. All right, so we're at the point where I have to do my rounds. If you don't know, I got a book, Death of the King. It is available on Patreon. The Scribe tier, officially and exclusively on the Scribe tier on Patreon. You can go to makearightlefthehere.com. But more importantly, it is not just being able to read the book. This is epic fantasy. But you get to see the evolution. So I talk about, explain, and teach my process of writing the book from the outline to the zero draft to the first draft, all the way to the third draft before the polish. So you see the evolution of the book. So it's a fantastic exercise, but also it is a learning and educational thing. If you didn't know, the 27 plot point outline book is available currently on makearightlefthehere.com. You can check it out. If you are a pantser, this book will help guide you to understand what narrative is and gives you directions on how to look at where you're writing towards. If you're an outliner, it does go into the outlining process specifically for the 27 plot point outline system when plot meets story. But even pantsers can gain a little something something from this book. And if you didn't know, the first book of the Breaking Down Success series is currently available. The second book is being cleaned up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit that bell icon. And as you know, you got to bloop the beard and bloop that like button. But more importantly, I have been working on this noir book, and I am flying through it. Like I said earlier, I just finished chapter 4. I am on the chapter 5, and it's only the 0 drafts right now, but I'm having a lot of fun with this book. Pretty exciting. So that's in the pops. That's in the pipeline. But that book, my goal is to publish the noir traditionally. I'm going to go to agents and publishers with it, only because it is less aggressive than The Death of a King, and I like doing the nonfiction books myself. I like just dealing with that myself. But the noir book feels like it would be a series, like an anthology series, something like a in-depth series, like those books. So my goal is to go traditional with that one. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I like the polls with dancers. Cheers, my friend. Both. Oh, you like it back and forth. Sometimes you like it fun. You like it sometimes where it's a little questionable. Yeah, that's why I was trying to mix it up. So I think I'll just keep doing it. I'll play with it. Maybe Saturdays will be fun polls, and Sundays will be a little bit more, introspective. 27 people is helping me greatly. Sean, thank you very much. Sean's been really pushing it and celebrating it, and man, Sean, so much love to you. I really see it's in this industry, just having someone mention it is such a huge milestone and a growth and helpful, and I do not take it lightly. So when I see you and everyone else publishing those photos, talking about your journey using the book, to me, right from the heart, man, I am not taking it for granted. I am grateful and thankful for it. So know that. All right. Despite spending time here pantsing, still calls to me like a siren. Have you? Well, you have the book. So have you been reading it and thinking to yourself, hey, this is interesting. Don't forget to like the video, peeps. Show our mentors some love. I'll take it. Like that video. Yeah. Turns his heart to pizza. That's right. All the love makes my heart turn to pizza. Sans pineapple. Sans pineapple. Much love. Yeah, man. Same to you, my friend. Same to you. No, truly, I'm grateful for all that. All right. Oh man, cat hair. Like the cat hair just stays with you, and then you get like itchy face. Itchy face. Anyway. I think that's it. I think we did good. If anyone has questions, we could do questions real quick. I am reading, but the voices are louder at the moment. I get it. They're like, you gotta write your book, and you're like, and then you're like, wait, we gotta kill the neighbors. I'm just happy you got the book and it's there for you. But I also know you're reading. Aren't you reading Death of a King, or did you slow down on that for a little bit? For everyone who is supporting the scribe tier, just know chapter 25 is the last chapter of Act 1, and then I switched it around for Act 2 and beyond. So the third draft of the chapters will be published on Mondays, and then first draft on Tuesdays, 0 draft on the Wednesday, and then Thursday will be the short form, or if that particular chapter has an extended outline beat, I might add that. However, we're getting to the point where a lot of the extended outline stuff is very few and far between because of how I, again, the book was much bigger when I first wrote it, and then I had to break the book up into 5 books, and then I had to expand the first section of that book, basically. What's this? Hey, the rum crate stung my nose sour and sharp like Dad's breath when he'd come home swinging if I dared use a word longer than his temper. One of the early lines. Then he's arrested, transported. That's a good line. That's a really strong line. The rum. Would there be a? Oh, my brain is. This is how dyslexia works. I saw the rum, comma. I'm like, is there a comma? The rum crate stung my nose. Good strong line, sour and sharp. Very good, very good. Like Dad's breath when he'd come home swinging. If I dare use a word longer than his temper. One of the early lines. That's good. Is it all written in first person? Yeah, that's tight. Tight stuff, Danny. My voice tends to argue a lot, so I have to make them sit in the corner. That's funny. That's funny. Same way, same way. I am reading I love that people are death thinking. Slowed down a bit as I'm still a bit sick. Reading BDS and a bit of Lee Child to make me feel better. Breaking Down Success. Look, if that makes you feel better, more power to you. I mean, it is a heavy read, so like, but I'm sending you healthy thoughts. Always am, and I'm always around if you just need somebody to chit chat with. Lee Childs, if anyone knows, is Reacher. He writes. Well, now he doesn't write Reacher. His brother took over, but like I think there's like 30 books on the Reacher. So good stuff. Good stuff. Nice. Oh, you're complimenting this, right? Yeah. This is a sexy line, Danny. Sexy line. There's a good character there. The rum crate stung my nose, sour and sharp, like Dad's breath when he'd come home swinging. If I dared use a word longer than his temper. That's good characterization. I have a naughty step. I have a naughty step, Sean. That is true. M has a, but you're Scottish, aren't you? Aren't you? It's supposed to be. Isn't that how it works? All right. What else we got here? Anything new happening? Anything new happening? Oh, by the way, this is if anyone has anything they want to share, like you want to put a link up. If you want to tell me what if you're advertising anything, just let me know. Put it in comments, whatever you want to do. Remember, this community is here to elevate and celebrate one another. It is not a gatekeeping kind of community. If you got something, please use my platform to advertise yourself. It's all about love and support. Love and support. I've been downsizing my bedroom, being ruthless with everything as I need to move to a smaller place. Still finished editing chapter 14. Yay. Oh, ooh, look, there's a lot going on there. And you deserve one. That's for the record, Flowers, if I lived near you, I'd be there helping you. Because I know. I've moved so many times in my life. It's good there to help, but I'm with you. But congratulations on the chapter 14. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. All right. I think that's good. I think I think we did good with the rewrite. I got through it. I think I would start. It took me like 40 minutes just to get to the start, Oh yeah, Bonsai Brothers Martial Arts Mayhem at the Bonsai Brothers. If anyone hasn't followed Sean and his friend's channel, that's a fun little channel there. Fun little channel. Let me get the link because I don't think you could share links. Let me get the link for you. Basically, what it is, to everyone who doesn't know, it's old videos, and boop, there you go. It's old videos of Sean and his friends filming some really funny stuff. They're kids, very funny, good stuff. It's funny, but it's also very talented. So just let you know. We got this. Oh, by the way, Thomas, I did not find your lesson today boring, nor did I have anything against your rewrite choices today. I appreciate that, Ro. The feedback is very helpful because when I'm doing the rewrites, I have to know that A, the audience is interested in what I'm doing. B, what I am saying is helping or helpful in any way. And C, you want more of it. Because obviously, if I'm doing these rewrites and it's not interesting to anybody, I'm always, I won't do them. But it does help. Thank you, Ro. I appreciate that. And honestly, if one person likes it, that's enough for me to do it. Like some old films my friends made in the 90s. Bloopers. And there's a lot of action. They do like kung fu and stuff. It's really funny. What do we got? The lesson. Thank you, Malos, for telling me. Trust me, letting me know, giving me feedback isn't for my ego. It's just to give me direction, to let me know that I am teaching stuff that is helpful, but I am also doing stuff that is interesting, and that you are enjoying it. Thanks. We're having fun. Thanks for letting me share. Of course, this channel. Please, always. None of your lessons are ever boring because the community I found here with all of you. Oh man, Malice, that makes me feel good. I'm glad my lessons are boring, but the community makes it fun. No. Just kidding. All right. I set myself a goal to publish my book by next month. Fantastic. Let's give you a little round of applause for just setting the goal. Bang. Let's hope you do it. I think you will. And if you need help, if you need us to really push you, you let us know. We'll keep it. Happy Love Day. What's up, Richard? By the way, Richard has a book out. Richard, can I tell people you have the book out, or is that still private for you? I forget. Richard Holiday, author. Look at that. All right, let's go to it. Let's get the link. If you don't know, Richard has a few books. I'm gonna put that in the link too. I'm gonna put that. You could check him out. Oh wait, that's the wrong link. One second. There we go. You could check out Richard if you want. Richard writes some big books. Also, his newest book, Ray of Light, you could pre-order it. It has nothing to do with Madonna. Just want to put that out there. I like the rewrites because they help with different ways to say what you see. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the goal. Is like, how do we approach the words? And the other thing I'm trying to do, because I think I've talked about this I was having anxiety about my own writing, and of course, I have my support team, and they're, obviously, but the reality came when I was talking to clients, and I realized they have the same thing that's going on with me, and I realized, wait a minute. My advice to them is, well, you're finding your voice, and your voice shouldn't look like everyone else. So I was like, let me start doing these rewrite series to show that, like, what does my voice look like? What does the lens of my voice look like through the plot of somebody else's first page or whatever? And it helped ease the anxiety that I have, and I'm hoping that it eases the anxiety other writers have when it comes to them judging their writing. When they look at it and go, this doesn't feel like so-and-so, or this doesn't feel like so-and-so, and like, what do I do with this? And it's just, as you can see, you could write anything you want. I kept the beat. She was dealing with the grief. She's on the couch. She has the sweater. She feels alone. So I was maintaining those beats. I was going to get to her running to the bathroom, all that. But it was through the way I was visualizing the framing. And that's the secret, by the way, to writing is, again, we talk about 7 stories, whatever, right? So the way we filter it through our lens, our experiences, our emotions really does change. I mean, if I put up 3 plot points right now, plot point 1, 2, and 3, and set up an ordinary world, an inciting incident, and the reaction to it, and we all wrote a chapter for each beat, those chapters would be different, even if we just follow the outlining beats. It's just what it is. I mean, never, but I know. I just play with you. Look, I got to do self-deprecation, or what's the point? It's out March 28th. Yeah, but everyone could check it out and pre-order it. Yay, Richard. Hello, Richard. Stumbled into your YouTube. Did you stumble into the one where he shaves pigs even though they have very light hair, fur, or did you go to his other one where he works on books? Both very entertaining YouTube channels. I want to put that out there. There are no notes on the pig shaving channel, but the writing channel, a solid 5 out of 5. I'll give it. I'm with Malos. This community is great. This community is fantastic, and I love that it continues to grow all the time, and that everybody shares the videos and everybody shares the posts and everybody talks about it. But also, remember the Facebook group exists, and Sean's very active in it, and so are some of the other people. We just saw something with Cindy. I was really happy to see that. But remember, it's a community. You can talk about your trials and tribulations. You could ask questions. You could talk about your successes, your wins, your victories. But the goal is that we're all here for each other, and we're going to continue to be here for each other because we celebrate and elevate one another. So that's something to keep in mind. I particularly a particular reason it's 3:28. Yeah, what is that? That's not even a Tuesday, right? Three. Yeah, why? Yeah, Richard, I'd love to hear your because normally a book comes out on a Tuesday, right? Normally come out on Tuesday, because it's book day. And then Wednesday, I think Tuesdays are like book and music, isn't it? Yeah, not that it matters now. It doesn't matter as long as you do the build up. The price of war. Oh, look at that! You can look inside the book. Oh, you can't. Where's the say? I can't look at the pre look. It's all right. Diana, I made that up. He doesn't actually have a channel where he shaves pigs. I was just being silly because I like Rich. The more I could play and joke with somebody, that's why we get to laugh here. We get to play with each other because that's how we love each other. We care about each other. It's all about fun and play. Fun and play. Writing. The only piggies I know is from Lord of the Flies. The Files? The Flies. The Files? Oh, and a Samat about something about a big bad wolf. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. And then Rambo shows up. Is that how that song goes? Little pig, right? Little pig, let me in. Yeah, by Green Jelly, right? Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair, but chin, chin. How's that go? Why don't you sit right back and I may tell you a tale of three pigs. And then Rambo shows up. What is it, Rambo? Wait. Ram. They sent out Rambo just as fast as they could. Yeah, green jelly, right? And had a take on it. Yeah, that's what it was, right? There was a three little pigs. Green, I think it was green jelly, right? Green jelly, 1989 or something. Thomas knew it. Yeah, there. Thomas would be fun reading children's books. Give it to me. I'll read a child's book. I like doing the narratives, narrations. Little pig, let me in. When I used to read like books out loud, I don't know if anyone else used to do this when you were younger, but like if I was reading books with friends, like we'd each take a chapter or a page, or usually it was a chapter, and we would read a chapter and someone else would read a chapter. I would do the voices, but also another thing we do is like, because I had actor friends, we'd read a book and one person would read the narrative, like whatever it is, and then the dialogue, each person would take a character and we'd like read it like that. Very fun times. They called 911 like any piggy would. For legal reasons, they had to change the name to Jelly. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. I think we kicked butt today. We kicked butt today. This was fantastic. Other than that, I think it's good. All right, everybody. If that's it, that's it. You know, we did all the talk. We did all the. Nobody showed Manowar, so that's good. Manowar did not make an appearance. We got a gong. We got to advertise some people. We got to talk about books. Um. Oh, one other thing, real quick. Afghani, if you're still here, I realized that when you told me it was the Prince of Thorns, that I had this book in the queue, like the overlay queue. But like, I think you said it was a woman with a sword, so that's the only reason I didn't go to the Prince of Thorns. But every time I see this now, every time I'm like, oh, there's the thing. This is the book that he was talking about. I don't know. Other than that. Have a great day and lunch. Yeah, it's definitely lunchtime. To everybody out there, happy Valentine's Day. I remembered wrong. That's okay. No judgment. Once upon a time in a forest far, far away, there lived a cat named Socks, and had black fur and 4 white sock on his paws. He wore wireframe glasses and was the smartest cat around. Has anyone watched or read the Pentadragon Circle? Is that the one with Mike Myers, the comedian? If so, then yes. I think Ben Shapiro is the director. It's actually getting pretty good. Oh no, then I did not see that. BBC miniseries of Lord of the Flies just had a great first episode too. I'll have to look into that, Danny. Danny, are you from the over the pond? Are you from the England area, the Great Britain? A lot of the people on are from the Great Britain. Romantasy. I mistook you for romantasy, my friend. Those eyes. All right. Also, something with thorns. You got the thorns of something. Yeah, I watched it. Oh yeah. I'll have to check that out. You said they're doing Lord of the Flies and the BBCs. Other than that, though, I think it's time for the lunch, the dinner. What are we doing? I gotta eat lunch. Anyway, to everybody out there, happy Valentine's Day. Remember, you are loved. You are celebrated. And I'm just grateful we get to be here. Remember, tomorrow I'll be here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing the Write a Book with Me series. We're going to write a book in real time. Continue it on, as always. But other than that, I am Thomas J. Bellezza. And as always, keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next time. Bye.